A guy just used ChatGPT to spot his lost shoe in a pile of 1,000 pairs. This is Models and Agents for Beginners, episode 134. Picture this scene at a crowded event in India. One person dropped a traditional wooden clog among thousands of other shoes and had no way to search by hand without hours of frustration. Instead, he snapped one photo of the entire messy pile and asked ChatGPT to find the missing clog. The AI looked at the image and pointed straight to the exact spot where the shoe sat. Think of it like having a friend with perfect eyesight who never gets bored scanning every single detail in a photo while you stand there overwhelmed. That friend notices patterns in color, shape, and position that your own eyes might skip after a minute or two. The story spread because it turned a small everyday headache into something that took seconds instead of an exhausting search. It shows how image understanding in AI can step into ordinary moments like losing something in a crowd or sorting through a messy drawer at home. Students might one day use the same trick to find a textbook in a cluttered locker photo, or identify a plant from a garden snapshot. You can test the idea yourself right now with any crowded or messy photo on your phone. Open the ChatGPT app, upload the picture, and type a clear question like, "Where is the red item?" or "What stands out in the bottom corner?" No coding or special setup is required, and the whole experiment takes less than a minute. Here is where the technology starts to feel less like magic and more like a practical tool. The model does not just guess at random. It compares tiny visual clues against patterns it learned from millions of earlier images. That process turns a frustrating pile of shoes into a quick answer. The real shift is that anyone can trigger this help without being a programmer. You simply point a camera and ask. That same habit could soon help with school projects that involve spotting details in photos or organizing digital clutter. Now let us look under the hood at how any AI actually sees an image in the first place. Imagine you are trying to solve a giant jigsaw puzzle while wearing thick gloves. You cannot grab the whole picture at once, so you start by feeling one small edge or color patch at a time. An AI model works in a similar way when it first meets a new photo. It breaks the image into thousands of tiny squares of color and brightness, instead of looking left to right the way human eyes do. Next, it checks each square against patterns it memorized during training, such as curves that usually mean an edge or shadows that often signal depth. Those early guesses get passed along to later steps that try to reason about what the whole scene means. The surprising part is that many mistakes blamed on bad reasoning actually happen right at this first seeing stage. If the lighting is strange or objects overlap, the early guesses can be off, and everything after that builds on shaky ground. A test called Perception Bench measures exactly this seeing ability across different models. So far, no leading system reaches even 60% accuracy when the task is purely about noticing what is really there. Understanding this limit helps explain why some photo answers feel odd. The model might have misread the picture itself rather than misunderstanding the question that came with it. Researchers use these results to improve the early scanning steps so future models get the visual details right more often. Once you know the process starts with puzzle piece scanning, the whole idea of AI vision feels less mysterious. You can watch the same scanning happen in real time with the experiment you just tried in the ChatGPT app. Upload another cluttered photo and ask the model to list every color it notices first. That output gives you a peek at the tiny squares stage before any higher thinking begins. World Labs created a different kind of practice space for robots. Their system takes one real task, such as picking up an object, and builds thousands of slightly different versions inside a computer simulation. The robot then repeats those versions for an hour with no human watching. Think of it like a video game level editor that automatically creates endless practice rooms so the player can master one skill without ever risking the real world. After training, the finished movements transfer to actual machines. 5 different robot types have already run through this process successfully. The approach matters because it cuts down on expensive or risky tests in real factories or homes. If you are curious about future jobs that involve automation, go to thedecoder.com and search for the World Labs article. Watch the short video examples to see how the simulated practice looks in action. Another project began when someone simply asked ChatGPT for ideas about a vaccine that might help dogs with cancer. The conversation grew into an actual startup, even though the person had no medical training to start with. It shows how a casual chat can turn into a serious project when the topic is something you care about, like animal health. If you have a pet or want to help local wildlife, open ChatGPT and type a question about a problem you would like to solve. Notice which ideas feel worth exploring further. That same starter step led to the dog vaccine project. OpenAI recently contacted police after a person in Florida described a murder clan inside a ChatGPT conversation. The company acted because safety rules are built in to flag serious harm. It is a reminder that these tools watch for dangerous requests and can bring in real help. ChatGPT can now open and edit files stored in Google Drive for subscribers. The change removes the need to copy and paste text when you are working on a school paper or creative project. You simply connect the two services once and start asking the AI to revise or organize what is already there. That is it for today. Remember, every AI expert started exactly where you are right now. If something we talked about today made you curious, go try it. That is literally how learning works. Stay curious, keep experimenting, and we will see you tomorrow. And if you would rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at Nara Network. Link is in the show notes. One more thing. If you liked today's episode, our sister show OmniView is worth a spot in your feed. A balanced daily world news briefing that takes every side seriously. It is one of the Nara Network's daily briefings, all free at naranetwork.com. Prefer reading? Today's full write-up, sources, and transcript are on the episode blog at naranetwork.com. Same briefing, readable format. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.